the Go Berserk with Email podcast with Navy nuclear engineer turned email software developer, Troy Broussard. So calm.
I'm pissed off, but I'm telling this because I am teaching you how to think differently and how to test differently.
So patient.
And Ben, that's put $500,000 into this company too, is being told that nobody can find the goddamn bug.
So charitable.
I'm going to start paying bounties every time somebody finds a bug. We're going to deduct $10 for that week.
So trusting.
Do not assume that anything works. Assume that nothing works.
And so sweet, it makes sugar taste just like salt.
I want to play into the sexiness of marketing automation, but I also want to slap the complexity of it.
The Go Berserk with Email podcast begins now.
Yes, this is a brand new podcast episode, and you're coming in the middle of a conversation because I'm about to embarrass myself with Troy. Let me tell you a little story, Troy. When I got on social media, I thought I was hot stuff on Facebook, and I built a Facebook like page. Back then, they were like pages of 40,000 real estate agents. Do you know what happened to that Facebook page?
I'm guessing it went away like a digital fart in the wind.
Son, they kneecapped me. They came in, they took that page out, and I felt like a dumb dummy because I was running around preaching saying, hey, you don't need a website. You don't need an email list. All you need is social media. Tell me how many ways I was wrong, brother.
Man, I could just get up and rant and rave about this till the cows come home. It's probably the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make is they think that everything is different now, that it's different this time around, that it's not going to work that way, that you don't need email anymore, that you can do this new stuff. And it doesn't matter whether it's Twitter, TikTok, or whatever new thing comes the way. The reality is all of these social media platforms, even podcasting. Yes, I know I'm hurting your feelings. We're on a podcast. Ooh, a podcast. All of these platforms are things that are just that. They are a platform, and understanding what they are and using them to your advantage, I fully agree with. That's what I'm doing here, right? I'm taking advantage of the platform that Apple has created and now is, kind of ubiquitous across various platforms, but the platform of podcasting. But the purpose of a platform is to get exposure. And if you do it right, it's to draw people into your own asset. And your own asset is your email list. And if you do it that way, then you are using the platforms. And that's brilliant. And I fully ascribe to that theory, right? You should be using all the different avenues that work for you, right? Now, I don't really love doing YouTubes. I do it occasionally, but podcasting is more my style. I enjoy this more. So this is the medium that I choose. Find the platforms that align with you. If TikTok is your thing, if Instagram is your thing, if Facebook's is your deal, that's all great. But understand it is not your asset. It is a platform on which you are a guest and can be kicked off at any time for any reason or no reason at all. And trust me, it happens, right? And so you've got people that are running their businesses in Facebook groups, and it's just such a mistake. Don't run your business in a Facebook. Hold a Facebook group to maybe do a challenge or a summit or something to get some engagement in that group, but then offer them something from your list. Offer them something from your, a PDF, a training, a free course, offer something for sale, something that migrates that person off of the platform and onto an asset for which you can control, and that is email. Now, all of this assumes, and I just got to go on record and say it because obviously we do things a little bit different at Berserker Mail, but all of this assumes you're using a platform that allows you to back up and keep your contacts and not get kicked off of their platform and lose access to everything too. And unfortunately, many of our competitors, and I'm not going to name names, but many of our competitors, if you do something that violates their email terms of service or just for no reason at all, or they've just gone woke off the deep end and decide to kick you off the platform, they can do so at any point in time. And guess what? They don't even give you access to log in to download your emails or anything. You are just gone. So one of the things that we do at Berserker Mail, I'm not going to tell you that you can't get kicked off of Berserker Mail. Of course you can. If you can't act as an adult, if you're, sending out hate mail and doing things to stir people up and irritate and piss people off, then yeah, we're going to boot your butt off too. Like, everybody is going to treat you that way. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, we're not going to kick people off. Of course we are. Right. But what I am going to tell you is that we allow you to back up your contacts automatically every day and just get an email from the system that just sends you a download link every day for you so that you can just back up your list at any given point in time. And even if we were to kick you off, we still respect the fact that the contacts are yours. And so even if we were to kick you off the platform, we would allow you to get access to your contacts because we're marketers and we understand we might have a disagreement with how you choose to market your business. You may be way more aggressive than makes sense from our standpoint, and we may not agree with that, but it's still your business. And we're not going to go out of our way to cause damage to your business by not allowing you to retrieve the contacts within your business. So that's the way we treat it. And I can't make any promises on other email platforms. Not all of them are that way. And I know many of them that once they deem you unworthy of their godlike presence, then, you will not get anything but a swat on the tush on the way out the door, and you won't even be able to retrieve your contacts. We just don't believe that. I think we can, as respectable adults, respect each other even in a disagreement, right? I think we can say, hey, look, and we had this happen to a gentleman that was in the dating niche and the pickup artist kind of niche, and we just did not agree. I've got a young teenage daughter. I'm not gonna. The way that the language that he used was very derogatory, very inflammatory, and I'm just like, no, this is not going to be kosher. And I emailed him very politely as the owner of the company. I said, look, the way you're emailing now, it's not going to work. And I'm doing you a favor by telling you this because it's not going to work in many different platforms across anywhere. And he's like, yeah, I know, I've been kicked off a few already. I said, well, you're going to get kicked off of this one too if you keep it up. And I said, here's how you can do it. And I gave him some examples. I'm like, look, you can push the line, but you have to stay on the respectability side of the formula, And in the end of the day, he chose to just go elsewhere, and that's totally fine. That was his choice. But we didn't, not give him his contacts or anything. In fact, with this person, he never actually became a client because he had been kicked off so many platforms that he asked us beforehand. And I admire that. I respect that. He said, look, I'm aggressive. I've gotten booted off a few platforms. Here's an example of one of my emails. I want to know if it'll fly on your platform before I subscribe and all that. And I think that was a very respectable way to handle the situation, right? He knew that he was, walking the line. And I would say he wasn't even close to walking the line. He was way on the other side of it. But anyway, that's the way that happens. So, understanding that email is an asset, and it is your single most important asset that you have in your business, and treating it that way, and understanding that all of these social media platforms are there and exist and they're opportunities for you. That's great, but realize you don't own them. And building your business on them is building your business on quicksand, right? It can just suck you in at any point in time and watch your money go away. It's a tactical approach to building a business. And I think that what you want to do is, rather than build your business on tactics, you want to use tactics to weave them into a strategy. And email is the strategy. You can use TikTok and Facebook and all the other social media platforms as tactical ways of acquiring leads and gaining influence. But if you want the comfort, I call it, I think in the trading mindset, we call them, a stock is a swan, right? It's a sleep well at night stock. And it's something you want to hold on to if it just makes you sleep well at night. It's not going to be volatile and crazy, right? If you want to sleep well at night with your entrepreneurial business, then you want to own your assets. And that's the bottom line. As somebody that's coached over 1,000 private clients at this point in my life and career, I can tell you that I have faced this situation just dozens and dozens and dozens of times where people hire me to get advice after the fact, after they've been booted off. And it's like, now's not the time. You make a good trade on the entry, not on the
When you
exit.
buy, you make your money when you buy. That's what they say in real estate.
Exactly. Same thing with real estate, right? You make money when you buy. You make money on the entry. If you bought too much money for the neighborhood, yeah, you can put more money into it trying to put lipstick on that pig. But at the end of the day, you just got a pig with pretty lipstick. It's not going to be, and it's overpriced. You can't change that, right? And it's really the same thing with your business. You don't want to be building your business on quicksand, and that means you don't want to be building it on somebody else's platform.
So there's that idea. Some people out there would argue that the followers they have or the likes they have or the community they have is an asset. But I hear you saying that that's an entryway to the actual asset because you own that CSV.
Yeah.
And so a couple things on that. Number one, we talked about this before and I hear it coming back, is that you try to help the people on your platform be better by kind of dumb proofing it. And those, I don't think I've ever seen one that does auto backups like that. So you actually have your asset, which is really incredible. If you guys don't know about that, that's actually a gift. So that's super cool. But now here's the other mistake that I see, and maybe this will be blasphemous since this is a show about email, but some people just stop there. Is that the only asset, or is that the beginning of the journey with you guys?
So this is the entree into everything. And I look at it as your principal asset is your email list. Now, there's all this discussion about double opt-ins and single opt-ins for email. And there's all kinds of arguments on this. And I can tell you that as the founder of the company, I only use confirmed email addresses. I can tell you Ben does the same on his list, Ben Settle. And we do it for a reason. If you want high quality leads, you want them to swim upstream. You don't want to be having to talk people into stuff. You don't want to make it so easy that there's no resistance. And if you do that, you get the low resistance people. You get the people that just go anywhere the wind blows. And that's not what you want. You want somebody that really wants to be on your list. And anybody that wants to be on your list, if they click a button to opt in, they're going to confirm it. And if they don't, then you don't want to be paying for them. And you pay for email. Let's be honest. You pay a monthly fee for it, and they're always based on your contact numbers and stuff. So you don't want a bunch of dead weight, right? So people that argue about using non-confirmed emails have an ego-driven fear that is, I'm missing out. And yeah, you are. You're missing out on a bunch of freebie seeking mofos that are never going to do anything, right? You want to miss out on that, right? You want to miss out. You want buyer leads. And buyer leads don't necessarily mean they bought. It means they have an intent to buy. They're a buyer intention. And buyer leads are leads that swim upstream. Somebody that listens to this podcast and decides to go check out Berserker Mail and then has to opt in and then go through a process, that is swimming upstream. That is an ideal buyer lead. That's somebody that's very valuable and very powerful to us in our growth of our business, whether they buy initially or not, because they are actively, going through the process. They're not just wishy-washy in their decisions. They had to make a decision and confirm it at various steps in order to proceed. And that's really what you want. So the first thing to understand is it all starts with this kind of concept of embracing the swimming upstream philosophy. And what that really is, as a classic salesman, right? I can just tell you, it's a sales-based metaphor. Don't be friggin' needy. Don't be needy. Nobody wants to buy from a needy salesman. Oh, please buy my stuff. No, dude, get the hell out of here. Nobody buys from a needy salesman. There's no confidence in that. And when you're like, oh, please sign up. Oh, please, pretty please. You don't even have to give your name and we don't ask for anything. Just sign right in here. Like, it's just needy. Right? It's not what you want to do. So that's the first thing. But when you really move into this mindset, then you start thinking of things in terms of not just confirmed emails, but double confirmed and triple confirmed and quadruple confirmed. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean using your email as the pinnacle of your asset building process, but now build from it further. Okay. I have an app platform called Learnistic. And in, Learnistic, I don't have 100% of my people that are on my email list are in Learnistic. They're not. It's a subset. But you know what? It's another opt-in list. In that list, I've got another asset. I can push out push notifications at any time I want. I can publish out content and reach out to those people in another way that's not tied to email, right? It's another asset. So thinking of building other assets that you're in control of. And while I happen to own the company, so I'm 100% in control of it, but even as a subscriber of Learnistic, it's the same thing as Berserker Mail. If you're part of that community, it's your asset. Even if you were to leave, we're still going to give you an export of your assets, right? And that's just our philosophy as a business. But the point is building more and more assets for you. My favorite asset to build, and the most powerful one that nobody can ever opt out of, short of you doing something fraudulent, right, and getting shut down by the US government, but get their full mailing address. Come up with something cool.
Snail mail? Come on, boy.
Snail
Who
mail.
even looks at who looks at their inbox anymore? Do people really care about that?
Man, I do so well with snail mail, and so does Ben. Look at Ben's newsletter. It's a print newsletter, and that is a platform that he's built out over 10 plus years at this point. I think 11 years now. Absolutely. And you know what? It works better today than ever because people are sick of all the digital white noise, and the class of people that are going to spend the most money are the people that read the most, and so it just works out. It's not even really an age demographic, it's just more of a psychology. The people that will spend time reading through something are just better customers. They're more educated customers. They're someone that goes deeper in what they do. They're someone that is more of a strategic thinker. Somebody that's looking for the quick shortcuts is not going to be a reader, and that is a really nice little distinction. So again, it's another asset that you own. So coming up with some type of little freebie offer that you mail out in exchange for their mailing address, now you have yet another asset that you can do. Or, better yet, go down the path of creating your own little paid newsletter where you get paid to get paid, right? You get paid monthly for a newsletter and then include, other offers and promotions inside of it that you make more money on. Getting paid to get paid is a nice philosophy. I wouldn't go down that path internationally these days with the mail rates the way they are, right? Be smart about it. And it's hard. It's a hard business to make your bones in. It's not something that's easy. I'm certainly not going to state that. But having those additional assets, that is where the boring old business is done. And it's not in all the sexy, frilly stuff. It's in the boring stuff. I've got a client from years past, a few years back. He hired me for some consulting, and then he hired me to build out a funnel for them at the time, all marketing automation based. And it was, I'm not going to reveal his niche or anything, but he built basically these professional services websites for a specific niche of professional services. So, it could be lawyers, accountants, bookkeepers,
Use your
whatever.
imagination. Yeah.
Right. He took one of those niches. It wasn't one of those, but he took a niche like that and he built out websites for them because most people don't understand what's involved in building out a website. And he was really good at it and he could do them affordably. And he was really good with getting SEO and lead gen and stuff from it. And so he made that his core business, was just providing these SEO friendly, lead generation friendly websites in a specific niche. This is how he built his entire business into a 7-figure business. Okay. All he did, one thing: wash, rinse, repeat. This is all he did. Every single week, he paid his retired father, who needed some income, $1,000 every week. And his father would send out 1,000 pieces of direct mail to his leads. And when you're in professional services, it's really cool because you can go to organizations and purchase the mailing list and stuff. This is what's really cool about direct mail. There's all kinds of places online where you can purchase all the recent graduates of nursing school, for example, or recent graduates of cosmetology or whatever. And so he had this mailing list, and his father every week would send out a letter, and he would self-address and stamp the envelope himself. So nothing prepaid. All the envelopes were handwritten envelopes, hand addressed, not this stupid fake font bullshit on the computer that looks like just like handwritten. No, damn it. Do the extra work. Go the extra mile. And that's what they did. Handwritten, hand-addressed envelopes that look like they came from Aunt Jenny. Nobody throws those out. That's 100% open rate. 100% of the time you get a hand-addressed, stamped envelope like that, you're going to open it because you think it's somebody you should be opening from. It's got to be from a relative or who would do this, right? It 100% open rate. And then inside was a letter and offering them, and then it had a hand signature on it, every one. And all he did was recycle that same list. And I'm not going to go into all the specifics of it. He had his own campaign of how frequently and how often and how many times he did it, etc. But every single week they mailed out 1,000. And he built up a 7-figure business doing nothing more than that one marketing tactic, just using direct mail. So absolutely it works. Is it boring? Yeah. Is it all sexy with some TikTok bouncing around video and crazy memes and all this other stuff? No, it's none of that. It's
I wonder how many likes he got on that campaign.
Yeah. You know what? So I found out about likes. You can't pay your mortgage with likes. They don't accept those at the bank, and it's hard to finance the car based on your influence score. And I just don't pay attention to any of that crap because at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. It's delusional. It's perceived value. It's not real value. If it was real value, then you could pay your mortgage with it. And that's the bottom line. So am I saying don't build up an influence on Instagram? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying use it to your advantage, but understand you're in their house. It's not your house. It's in their house.
Yeah.
And they can kick you the hell out of their house whenever they want and slam the door on your butt on the way out. And you're gone and you've lost it. So, is it valuable to build up that influence? Sure. If that works for you, if it's a good way for you to acquire leads and that works with your style of communication and you're effective at it, great. But take the next step and convert it into an asset that you own, starting with your email and then go deeper. And when you do that, you will effectively cancel proof your business because now you're not relying on somebody else's rules or playing by their rules. You can create your own rules because it's your asset. You own it. You control it. You control how frequently. Is anybody going to tell you that you can't send out 10 pieces of direct mail a day? No. If you go send 10 emails a day from some email services, they might kick you off for abusing their email service, right? So understand that when you create assets that you control, then you really do cancel proof your business. And I think that's the way that you can sleep well at night, is you can build a business that has an income stream and a marketing mission that is not at the whim of some corporate organization and whatever woke policy du jour they have of the week, right? You can do it however you see fit.
I dig it, man. I hear you saying that the platforms of the party, your email list is the after party where you invite people over, get names and addresses, and then you start making dates with these people in the future with different forms of contact, whether it's getting their phone number and doing a text list, whether it's doing direct mail or whether it's doing something else. But that then becomes your power in your business and the source of new business without depending on these platforms and being at their mercy. I'm with you because I learned it the hard way.
Yeah. As many have. So that's it, man. A pretty basic step to cancel proofing your business. And it is a simple plan. Like everything I do, I like to reduce things down to the simple stuff. Just remember, business is boring. It's not sexy. It's boring. Boring, consistent profit. That's what I'm looking for.
Boring, consistent. Thank you, Troy. I'm looking for that boring, consistent profit too, brother. I appreciate you. And thank you guys for tuning in. Another episode is in the can.
To get a free Berserker Mail test drive with no credit card required, go to startmytestdrive.com. From there, you can play around inside the platform without pressure. Load up emails and campaigns to see how simple the interface is, and get comfy with everything before deciding to join. That's startmytestdrive.com.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.